Episode 287. The sheep will spend its entire life fearing the wolf only to be eaten by the shepherd.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilsa.
And it's Tuesday. Welcome to the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. Forgive the long title, but as always, there is a point. And since the podcasts are shorter, we're going to go through why in just a moment. The episode, or the titles at least, have to become longer to do justice somehow in a weird karmatic way. I don't know. Anyhow, I hope you have had a good Monday and you are still contemplating whether or not to buy your next liability or forfeit that opportunity to invest the money you were going to reward yourself with, only to spin it one more time and make the reward even bigger. This in reference to yesterday's episode, Why the Rich Are Rich. Today's episode is a bit more or a bit less on the wealth side of things, but rather on the happiness side of the triangle that we present here, or that we analyze here, or that we go through here every single day. And what today's episode is about, while the quote may be insanely deep sounding, is just that your threats, or the threats that are most threatening to you, are closer than those, which seem to be really far away. But we're going to go through that right after our daily housekeeping chores. Item number one of which is, as always, sharing is caring, meaning that whenever you share this podcast, you're going to prevent someone from falling victim to the wallet rapists. Meaning, again, that you can get the same content from any quote-unquote motivational guru out there for a premium price, and you can get it here for free. Here, you're going to have to think sometimes. I know that's, for a lot of people that fall victim to those wallet rapists, may be a bit of a struggle at times, but, then again, who knows whether this will be the cure for them. A quick reminder, this podcast started out as a persiflage against those wallet rapists, those proclaiming to give you wealth and riches by just listening to their programs, or more or less subscribing, buying their programs. And after that, you're broke, and you're really broke. And in the worst case, you're in debt, and they drive off into the sunset with their Lamborghini or Bentley, whichever brand suits you better, waving you the middle finger, leaving you stranded and deserted. That's not going to happen here because the contents are free. So, what have you got to lose? So share it far and wide, please. Item number two, views herein are my own, yada, yada, blah. Item number three, we're still in remodeling and renovation mode. So the episodes are going to be a bit. My God, that sounded like I was cursing in the first 3 minutes. So these episodes are going to be a bit shorter and a bit more concise, with longer titles now as a new feature. No, I'm just kidding. So let's dive into it right quick. The sheep will spend its entire life fearing the wolf only to be eaten by the shepherd, right? That's an interesting metaphor, particularly in today's time, right? So you're totally worried about the climate change issue because it's G20 time, and or is it COP? I can't remember. I can't keep my dates correct on those things because I don't really follow the news. And here's why. I don't care about climate change. Well, I do. Don't get me wrong. And I'm doing my fucking part. But at the end of the day, I don't know. A lot of stuff that gets said in the media stinks. A lot of stuff doesn't add up, and you should be particularly weary, whether it's the wolf or the shepherd, fear, instilling fear in you when you only hear one opinion. And that's the case for the thing that we've got going on, where everybody's going to die. And the same thing is true for the climate change thing. Yeah, I'm not denying there's climate change, but the problem is there's been climate change forever, as long as Earth exists. And those people who say that are not heard, but they are, labeled as climate change deniers. And there are those who are COVID deniers, and there are those who are anti-vaxxers and whatever not. Problem is, folks, if you spend a small amount of time researching the other story, right? Because you're only getting, or the other side of the story, because obviously you're only getting one, right? If every news outlet you turn to is in line and says the same thing, there's something going wrong. There's something going on. You should look behind the curtain, no matter whether there is a man or not. It's worth taking a look. And all of you listening now have a device in your hand or in your pocket or on your desk or whatever that gives you access to pretty much all of humanity's knowledge. And also those people who are not pushed into the mass media because there are other interests at heart or whatever. Again, I'm not going to go down the conspiracy route. Or conspiracy theory route. These are facts. Every time you get fed something in the news cycle, there's going to be an opposing story or an opposing side to the story, which is just squashed, period. And I think it's important to hear both sides always. There's not only a famous song by Phil Collins, both sides of the story, but, whenever our judicial systems are supposed to rule on something, both sides of the story are heard, always. And it's been good practice, even in science, where every story is heard, where somebody publishes an idea, and then it is the job of the other scientists to take the whole thing apart, right? And say, no, this is stupid, this can't be. And that's how science works. So all of you quacking out, yay, science, with the vaccine thing, maybe you should actually look up what science actually is. So now that the rant is over, where am I going with this, right? So sometimes we need to fear the hand that feeds us, right? And not the perceived threats that are very, very, very far away in the distance. And this goes more to the health and happiness principle, because if you tune out of the news cycle, try it. Just do a news detox for a few weeks, unless you're, bound by your job to know what's going on in the world. Do a news detox. It actually works. It works wonders. You notice how you become more relaxed. You notice how you're not having a heart attack because you cannot fathom what is going on in the world, or the one side of the story that is presented to you. And you're going to notice that you're just going to focus on the things which are closer to you. Like, for instance, your body, your health, your mental condition, right? All of those good things are all of a sudden going to come into a focus because there is no more outside distraction pulling you away from that. And that is just such a great fucking feeling, to be in touch with yourself, to be in touch with nature, to be in touch with your surrounding and observing what's going on in your immediate vicinity, because that's what a lot of us folks do nowadays, particularly you city folks. You run through the city or wherever you are with your noise-canceling headphones on, and you will never, ever notice the car that's going to hit you when you cross the road. You're never going to notice the tree that falls on you if you're going through the forest in a storm or, after a storm. And you're never going to notice those immediate threats because you're so occupied listening to threats, which more likely than not will not affect you in any way, shape, or form. Or the threat, if it materializes, is going to be, so benign that you don't even really have to pay attention to the impact it's going to have on you. So, will you be the sheep spending your entire life fearing the wolf, or will you be that sheep eaten by the shepherd? I don't know. It's worth investigating. And I hope you can do so on the rest of your Tuesday. So there's nothing left for me to say than have a nice Tuesday. If you've already had your Tuesday, have a good night. Leave your hands above the blanket. Peace out. We're going to be in touch tomorrow when we're going to talk about time wasters, one of which we discussed today. See you tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.